Hey everyone, Derek here with a quick news update on animation of all things, as an estate sale for a former DIC Animation City employee has turned up promo art for 4 old cartoons based on video games, and it's definitely a sort of blast from the past about what they would have done in order to adapt these 4 series. Now, for those of you who do not know, DIC is the animation company that did the Super Mario Bros. Super Show adaptation, along with Super Mario Bros. 3 and World, in addition to the Legend of Zelda cartoon. So they kind of had a market for this. And it looks like these 4 ideas, which never made it out of production, were going to be part of something called the Super Mario Bros. Power Hour. So the idea was likely having little shorts or maybe even a half-hour show based around these cartoons to pair up with Mario and try to get a video game block going on for DIC. But for whatever reason, it didn't exactly work out. There's not really a lot of information about these at the moment, but they're certainly fascinating from a point of adaptation. So let's go ahead and run down through these, and right off the bat we have Metroid, which actually has a suit of armor that seems pretty faithful to what Samus is, just with a clear helmet, except for the fact that Samus appears to be a guy. So it's hard to say if they just didn't get the memo, or they preferred the idea of having Samus be a guy, but he seems very generic. Although the alien he's fighting is pretty intense, it's hard to tell whether this is a space pirate or if it's supposed to be Ridley, but the idea of him fighting aliens in space definitely carries over, and other than the gender change, might have been okay. Not a big fan of the logo though, which just looks like a lot of snot, or I guess alien guts being spread out over. It kind of just doesn't feel like Metroid at all. Then we have California Games, which was sort of a sports collection back on the NES and PC. And yeah, this looks goofy as all get out. Looks like a bunch of weirdos doing different sports in California, dodging, shenanigans ensue, essentially. This is what it looks like. Just pure shenanigans, some weird character designs, but they work. This is pure 80s, and it's hard to really get a lot off of this. I've never really played the California games, but yeah, it seems like it'd be cute, or at its very worst, very annoying with the bad jokes, but, from the concept design, it looks like there was some potential here. The one that actually seems to have the most potential is Double Dragon, which looks pretty faithful to the original source, and yeah, it just has some great mood lighting to it, some action happening right in the poster, some really great designs, almost a bit of a Fist of the North Star vibe going on with the designs, but it works, and it's a shame we didn't get this, because this actually seems like it had the most potential out of all of them. But if I had to guess, the violence was probably a little bit too much, which is why it got toned down and never actually happened. We did get a Double Dragon series, just not this one. And finally, and the one that probably hurts me the most, is a Castlevania show. Now, we had Simon Belmont as part of Captain N, and he was a bit of a goofball there, but there's no sign of Simon in this. It is just 2 random kids freaking out over Dracula, the Mummy, Death, Frankenstein's monster, and Medusa. And on one hand, I kind of like the over-exaggerated designs. It works. Medusa I kind of love. It's just she's just sort of there. It's like, what is with these people? It's kind of fun. But Dracula is about as basic as you can get. And it kind of reminds me of an early version of Hotel Transylvania, of all things. But the worst part is, it's just 2 random kids. They're not Belmonts. There's not any grand adventure. It looks like 2 kids get trapped in a haunted house type thing and have to interact with the Castlevania monsters. If I had to guess, based off this, they might even become friends and other adventures happen along the way. It's hard to really get a sense of what the idea was for Castlevania. It might even be somewhat Beetlejuice inspired based on the logo design. It's hard to say. But still, looking at these and having this blast from the past is really cool. It's sort of this lost art that just was, forgotten about. Nobody actually knew that they were even working on stuff like this, and, it didn't really make any progress beyond that. Now, these are available on eBay since they are part of an estate sale, and currently, as of this video, they're going for $616 on eBay. Now, there is still time left to bid on these. It goes until May 14th, but yeah, we'll have a link to this in the description below so you can see them for yourself and see some of the lost history from DIC Animation. But what do you guys think about this? Would you have liked to see any of these cartoons back in the day? Let us know in the comments, and of course be sure to subscribe to GameXplain for more on Nintendo and other things gaming as well. Until next time, bye.